dedicato la mia vita ai momenti più felici, ad inseguire un sogno, il mio sogno. Quante volte mi hai deluso, non importa, io ci credo e vivo il mio sogno. Bari, grande amore, Bari unica e sola, Bari nel nostro cuore, non ti lasceremo da sola, facci sognare ancora, facci gridare ancora, facci gridare ancora, Bari nel nostro cuore, non ti lasceremo da sola, ma
You're watching the Staten Island Soccer Report coming to you live with your host, John Contaduca.
Great job. Thank you. All right, welcome to the Staten Island Soccer Report. We're coming to you live tonight from the studios of CTV. Alongside me tonight, we got him back, Frank Tricomi. Welcome back, we'll say, to the show and not home tonight. But yeah, it's been I don't know what. You could tell me, how many years has it been since you've been on?
It's been at least 2, maybe even 3.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Okay.
it's a homecoming of sorts.
Yeah.
Pleasure to be back, obviously. Like they always say, the original's still the greatest.
I mean, yeah, you can't beat the original, right? The original's the original. But, you know, Frank, obviously I've been trying to get you back here. Things, listen, sometimes I get it, things just don't work out for one reason or another. But we started this thing, you know, the show, what, 7, we'll say 7?
Yeah.
7 years ago, and we're up to 112 shows now. Never thought it would get this much, you know. But again, you sit there, you get into soccer, you start talking about the game, and the hour goes by, you know, it feels like it's a minute. But
They said you could never fill a half hour.
yeah, right.
Here you are
That's
in
what
an
they
hour.
said, right? Yep. They said we couldn't do a half-hour show. Now we're looking to do 2-hour shows. So, Frankie, I mean, we could start. I mean, there's probably so much to cover. First things first, I think, you know, I have this thing going on. Obviously, the Women's World Cup is going on, right? We got that kicked off. We're just about in the middle of the, towards the end, actually, of the group stage.
Yes.
And I just throw out there, like, you know, for the fans of soccer, you know, pick the scores of the games, and you know, just pick the scores. And today we got a winner. Michael's on. He's actually watching right now. He's on the Facebook side. Congrats, Mike. Good job. Regardless if it was a guess or not, it's still a great job. You picked one of the scores. I believe it was the. Actually, I have to look it up. I think it was the China game. Regardless, it was a 2-1 score, and you know, just for fun. And we're gonna get you a T-shirt, Mike. Just let me know what size. Inbox us and we'll get you that T-shirt. We'll start on the rec side. You know, let's start on stuff going on the island.
Okay.
That's most important, right? I think because it's Staten Island Soccer Report. Whatever we know of, we can only speak about, right? It's what we know of, and obviously you're still involved.
Yes.
On the rec side with Great Kills, and you got a couple of teams, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, you know, it's been up and down. I coach presently the Great Kills Heat,
Right.
which is a U15 boys team, and the Great Kills Thunder, which is a U10 boys team. And like I said, the seasons have been up and down. I could never get any consistency and have 2 good seasons with them simultaneously. For example, in the fall, the Heat won the U15. I believe it was Division III title. We moved up to Division II, and we're kind of like a tweener, you know, where we move back and forth every fall or every spring because we're not quite good enough to compete for Division II yet, where we're obviously 1-3. Now, conversely, we come back in the spring and we go 8-0. Once we move up to 2. So we have some work to do. You know, we have some players that are leaving us. We did have a few girls on the team this year that will be graduating, so congratulations to them. And now at this point, you know, we were predominantly made up of, this year, 6th and 7th grade boys for a division that goes up to 8th grade.
Yeah.
So now at this point, we're going to be, the boys will be moving up, you know, whereas the age range is going to stay the same. So hopefully there are a lot of big boys, you know, that's the age range to 14 till 8th grade. It is what it is. And, you know, some of these guys were bigger than me. So, you know, to expect 6th graders to compare to them, you know, it's a little tough, you know.
Yeah.
Those new USSF rules kind of like really affected, I believe, this age range, you know, the age range. Like, let's say the kids that are in junior high school now, you know, our daughters, you know, we kind of really didn't get affected by that because they were pretty much almost aging out. Whereas, let's say a team like the Great Kills Thunder, which was U10, we just finished up our U10 season yesterday.
Okay.
They were in a different category because when we started the team, that's when they implemented the new rules. So the team was pretty much kind of set and moved up according to the new rules. As far as they go, again, unfortunately in the fall, we had an 0-8 season.
Perfect, right?
Yeah.
The other way.
Perfect the other way. You know, you got to read that those newspapers upside down
flip
sometimes.
It. Yeah, that's what I say,
And then, you know, we competed for a division.
Right.
It came down to the last day of the season, and unfortunately, we took a whooping yesterday with a final score of 6-0 in the loss, losing side to the Richmond Town Dragons. Hats off to them.
Richmond Town.
We played them tight for a whole half, 1-0, and then, you know, like we always say, when the dam busts in the second half, and you know, you start to get tired, and you know, you need a win to win the division, so you kind of go all out. A tie doesn't really do anything for you, so what's the difference whether you lose 1 or 2-0 on the last game or 6-0?
Just go for it, you know, Frank, before we just continue, I just got to say, you know, we got a couple of new viewers on the television side of things. I know right now are watching, so I just want to say hello to my mom and dad that are probably watching. And speedy recovery for my father because he got that major knee surgery. So I know you're watching, so you better be smiling right now.
Get well soon.
All right. Yeah, so, you know, the only thing is, I don't want to rub it in on you a little bit, but the 6-0 loss, right, at the last game of the season, that's what you're going to bring on, and you know, throughout the summer until you get to the next game, right? That's going to stick with you.
Well, yeah, of course, you always, you know, you want to win every game, but for it to come down to the last game of the season for the whole division, every other team was wrapped up before yesterday. So we were the only 2 teams left to play, playing for first place. I believe we were 2 points out of first. Okay. So a win would have put us ahead of them, even though there is a discrepancy with last week's game. Unfortunately, from my point of view, the ref gave us an extra goal.
Okay.
I recorded the score as 8-2. The opposing coach at St. Rita's, the St. Rita Lions, he recorded the score at 7-2, and the ref recorded the score at 9-2. So obviously, you know, that creates a problem as far as the excessive win penalty. So they took a few points away from us, which obviously I was hoping to bring to the league's attention if yesterday's result mattered. Since yesterday's result doesn't matter anymore, it's not as significant, you know, in the final. Unfortunately, maybe, like I said, I have the goals counted. You know, unfortunately, this did happen to me with St. Rita's before. Through no fault of the coach. Last time it was my fault, admittedly. Because the boys got a little bit too excited, and they were too young to understand. Like as I was trying to pull a few of them off the field. This time, I think it's just a discrepancy in just counting the score.
I
you know,
don't get that. How does that score get mixed up like that? But,
you know, and the thing is, I wasn't even going to bring this up, but as far as the Heat go, there was actually a game that was not recorded right as well. You know, so it's just, you know, and I hate to say this, some clubs, and I don't mean this for St. Rita's, but, you know, some clubs for years have been on the preferred members list, we'll call it. And whatever they basically say goes. And
yeah, that's kind of tough when, you know, things should be done, you know, legit right down the line, you know. But again, we're dealing with, again, at the end of the day, it's the youth, right? It's rec, it's the youth. I mean, that's what they say. That's what they want to tell you. As long as the kids had fun, did they learn something? Vincenzo will say that to you in a few minutes.
They definitely got better. You know, the kids, obviously, they come to practice.
Right.
They try to watch the game.
Yep.
That are watching videos on YouTube. I heard some of the boys mention,
All right.
you know, to the other boys, hey, did you see this video on YouTube? I'm practicing from here and from there.
Yeah.
The unfortunate part is with soccer, and I noticed this because I'm involved with basketball as well for the CYO on Staten Island. The unfortunate part with soccer is it's a little bit harder for the scorekeeping because there's no scoreboard.
Right.
So with the basketball, if there's a discrepancy in the score, you could kind of take care of it
it's
right
there.
away.
Right.
Since soccer, since it's obviously an open field and there's no board, if there's an issue, hey, did that count? Did that not count? You know, what's the story here? Why is my score off yours? And you could address it as it's happening.
The referee, you know, has got to keep track of the goals as they're scored. He puts it in his, you know, he's got to keep track of that. So, all right. Just want to also mention Brian on the other side of the glass. As always, thank you for helping out, and Kenny in the other room there. You know, without them, we don't have a show. So, Frank, give us, you know, again, Vincenzo's going to come on in a few minutes here, and his thing is always, did they learn something?
Of course.
After every game, you know, did they learn something out of it? And that's it. That's more valuable than a win.
Yeah.
Of course, we want to win games, you know, coaches and stuff like that. But that's the bottom line, especially at the really younger ones. You know, did they learn something? That's, you know,
Yeah, you know.
did they take something out of the game? Did they learn something to carry it over for the next game? Anything like that, you know?
Of course, you know, and that's what I was really happy and impressed, you know, beside the season coming down to the last game of the season for not just us.
But that's exciting. I think
the
that's
whole division.
Right.
You know, it was 9 a.m. It was a Father's Day game. Everybody, you know, whoever had family members coming to the field, you know, unfortunately it didn't turn out well for us, you know, as well as we had expected. But getting back to the last 3 games of the season, this team really impressed me. Because you're talking about we had a makeup game in late May on a Saturday that was made up because we had some bad rainstorms, a few Sundays, and for the whole game we played 9 on 8, and a few of the we'll call them a few of the veterans on the team weren't able to make it due to the change from the weather. So we played 9 on 8 the whole game without a sub, and we wound up. We took a 2-0 goal lead early in the first half, and unfortunately for us, it wound up to be a 2-2 tie at the end. But I was just proud of the way that even the newer players played, because they had to make up that extra difference. And that one player at 8, 9 years old is a big deal. It may not be as big of a deal when you get to, let's say, U15. But I was really proud of the way that the players played that game.
That's right.
And then they came back last week, and we had some different goal scorers, too, on top of that.
That's always a good thing.
So that's another thing.
Yeah,
and
of
that's
course.
something that you work on. You know, obviously, it's rec. Nobody's looking to run up the score. You know, I've learned different things, like put all your strikers back on defense.
Well, look, you say it's rec, right? But that's the foundation. That's where we start. That's where the kids start from. So you can mock it all you want. You know, it's a beginning point for a lot of kids, right? Probably 90% 99% of the kids, right?
Yeah.
Until you find out, you want to move to the next level, right? You witnessed that years ago.
Yes.
Right? So,
Yes.
so that's a starting point, right? And then you see if they're ready to go on, you let them go, right?
Yeah.
We were taught that a long
course.
time ago. You move them on, you go. If not, you continue, and that's it. And that's what you're doing now. You continue, and you'll see the players progress, right? Like you mentioned.
Now at this point at U10, it's something that we've worked on for the last year or so, seeing where everyone's comfortable.
Yep.
And I think we're finally at a point where, okay, this is going to be your main position, but still not your only position. Because you never want to, kind of pigeonhole anybody.
I don't
especially
think players,
kids.
especially the younger ones, I don't think they get that. From a coach's standpoint. We need to sometimes move you around. Player gets injured, doesn't show up.
Well, and that's the thing.
Right.
You've experienced it with travel, and obviously it's more so with rec, where there's not as much commitment. Whether it's the kids are playing other sports, the kids are involved in other programs at school, and all these other things. And it's great to say that you field 9, you got 18 kids, and 9 on and 9 off. And it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work where every position's got a substitute.
Right.
So let's say a forward's got more stamina than a midfielder, and the midfielder's substitution didn't come in that day, got sick, or unfortunately couldn't make it. Somebody's going to have to cover for that midfielder. It sounds great on paper getting to the game, and we've gone over this before when our kids were younger. And it sounds great. Yeah, you got an even amount of subs, and this will come in.
Right.
It just doesn't work that way.
But when it does work, when you have players that are willing to do whatever coach asks them to do, that's the best. Because I have a couple of players like that now, so that's just a great feeling all around. To have that.
Absolutely.
So. But what else you got on the rec side of things? You guys are obviously done now, right? Anything going on? Anything else you want to add about your season? Anything you want to stand out? Anybody you want to mention? Parents, coaches.
I'm just proud of how both teams battled. Like I said. Maybe it's good that it's not that it's not good that it's not simultaneous, but at least I'm not going 0-8 with both teams in one season. That would kind of be a drag.
Yeah, that would be tough.
So it's kind of like you feel like you get your ups and your downs. You wish the downs weren't 0-8,
right?
But that's just if you're not one of the best teams to stay in Division I. And you're not one of the worst teams to stay, let's say in Division 3 or 4 or whatever. You're always going to go back and forth, and that's something that we realized early on when our girls were in, I think, U8 that first season. After that fall, when we went to that spring, and they didn't really have as much trouble because, with the rush, we kind of just stood in one, and but that's something that I realized as I coached other teams. That hey, this team's going to be back and forth, because of the skill level, and they're not good enough necessarily to compete for a Division I title. They're going to be cellar dwellers there, but hey, next season you're going to come back, and that's another thing, a very important thing that I tell the parents for the team at the beginning of the season. Don't think that the team got that much worse from season to season. Obviously you want to temper the expectations because of the fact that, you don't want to come on and have them think what happened?
Yeah.
Why is the team so bad now? You competed, you won a division last year, and now all of a sudden you come back and you go 0-8. I like to explain that to them and lay that out before we even start the season. Hey, we moved up. The competition's going to get a little bit stiffer. And, the boys are going to have to, girls, whoever it is, going to have to play a little bit harder and, be a little bit more disciplined. Try to, have more of a commitment for practice and things like that. And the same goes the other way. Hey, don't think that we've jumped leaps and bounds. because now all of a sudden you're world beaters and you don't need to practice because all of a sudden over the summer you've become this World Cup qualifier.
The thing is also with that, and it's been a problem for a very long time, is the amount of travel players, right? If Brian, if you could shut that door because they were, right? That makes a huge difference on a team. Let's just throw, a team that has maybe 6 of them, and a team that has none or 1 or 2. You can't compete with that team. That's the major problem going on, at that.
I've had both with the 3 teams that I've been with for the last 10 years. I've had both the advantage and the disadvantage of playing that. So I've seen it both sides.
Well, listen, let's go back years, okay? Let's go back quite a few years. We've had a pretty good team with no players that played both. So, I mean, can it happen? Yes, but I don't think it does really too much now, right? And a team, again, with a team with 5 or 6 of them is going to be a hell of a lot better than anybody else. So, which I don't think is a fair, it's not fair. I think either put them in a different group, right? Put them all together and let the rest of the groups play on their own, That's how you play it fair. Otherwise, what are we learning out of it? What are you learning out of winning 6-0 anyway every week? Right? At the young age, at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, what are you learning 6-0? And what's the other team going to feel like every week? We spoke about this.
It's almost like once you score the 6 goals,
right.
You could be in the first half playing pass back.
Why are you banging it around for 30 minutes? You're going to be banging the ball around. What are you getting out of it?
It doesn't do anything good, obviously.
So, again, it's just maybe just eliminate them. Just take them off, or just limit maybe 1 or 2 per team.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe? Because it's not it's not one player's game. One player can't really do it every game.
It's just tough. It's tough to put limits on it.
Yeah, I know.
It's tough, and I understand that everybody's in a tough spot because you don't want to discourage kids that still want to play both, that have, like, let's say, their friends that they're having a great time playing rec, and maybe they don't play so. Maybe they're playing travel, but maybe they're riding the bench. Maybe they're playing 5 minutes a game, and this gives them a sense of confidence.
Yep. All right. Well, George brings up a good point there too. Like we just said, make it a travel division. If you're in the rec league, right, Staten Island Soccer League, make a travel division.
That's it.
Everyone wants to play with their friends. In a perfect world, I want to. But you know what? Sometimes you just can't. It's just not fair to the other teams that don't have any or can't field any of them. So maybe that's a good point. Make a travel division. And then let them all play. The teams without these travel players, let them play, and then you see what happens.
Yeah.
I think you have a more competitive, season like that.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
Do you have any travel players on either one of your teams?
I have.
Can't be that many if you're thinking. See, it's not that many. Yeah.
2 and 2 were former travel players. So.
All right. Well, former. They're
not currently practicing.
And
2-3 days
out
a
of
week.
2 teams, only 2.
Well, I have 1 for the younger boys too.
Right.
But
So
nothing.
Right. It's nothing major. You don't have 5 or 6 per team.
No.
So it's okay. Again, 102.
I did at one point, but those times, they come and they go, and.
Well, again, if they're playing and they need to get to the next level, then you let them go, right?
Well, one other thing.
All right, we might have a caller, Frank, and this might be the famous Vincenzo Torzo, maybe. Let's see.
Giovanni.
There he is.
How are you?
Hi, Vincenzo. Long time no see or speak.
I'm telling you, everything.
It's coming a little broken up, but anyway, Vincenzo, how are you?
All right, John. I'm watching all the games, you know that.
Yeah, Vincenzo, before we start, the very special guest here tonight, well, he's a co-host, and we're going to go back to the original.
Oh, boy, the basic.
Yeah, who's the original?
Well, the original is the over 40 soccer league.
No. The original co-host of the show.
Oh, sound like somebody.
Let's see if we can guess it.
Rock the boy.
Thank you, boy. You got it. There you go.
That's it.
Hey, thank you.
Hey.
How are you?
All right, how are you, Vincenzo?
Welcome back. Last time I talked to you was 19-something.
Yes. How are you doing?
I help survive every day.
Good.
We're doing something for soccer.
Yep, that's it,
course.
Vincenzo. Yep, so Vincenzo, the original is back, okay? You remember those days, right?
I'm telling you, those good old days,
Uh-huh.
Johnny, those days, like anything else in life, very hard to repeat.
Yeah.
You're gonna have something different, but never repeat of the good old days because we love the game. We loved playing once a week, like a Wednesday or Thursday night out.
Yep, that's it. So,
Now, those days, maybe they're doing outside. Who knows?
all right, Vincenzo, we're just finishing up talking about the soccer on Staten Island, and then we're going to get into, we have 30 minutes to talk about the World Cup and everything else going on. Just stand by, and if you have anything to add, Vincenzo, be my guest, okay?
Okay.
So, Frank, we're going to wrap up with any last words on nothing?
No, I think we
You're
pretty
good?
much covered
You
it.
got everybody coming back?
Yes, hopefully.
Right.
Definitely for the Great Kills Thunder, the Heat. We may have some
Okay.
graduates. We do have some graduates, so we're not sure where we stand there.
Okay, so obviously I'm coaching the strikers of the Staten Island Soccer Club. Been doing that for the last couple of years. I'm going to be coming back for my third. Right?
Your contract got renewed?
Yeah, we got yep, it's renewed. And as you know, the skill level, is not where we want it to be, or But that being said, Frank, I noticed that I learned also that the team still, Vincenzo, the team still wants to be together, right? The team is still trying to get better. All right, we try every practice. We work on things, and we're getting better. For the last couple of years. Okay, sometimes it takes longer than others to get things right. And just speaking for this, maybe the last 5-6 games, right, excluding one hiccup that we had, right, which was about 6-0, but that was the division winners. The team is really kind of turned the corner, type of thing. All right, you haven't been around the team from the beginning, obviously, but from day one to now, the girls that you didn't know what they had are starting to contribute and do different things. Yesterday, Vincenzo, we had a player on the team score a couple of goals. One with their head, one was a header, and you really don't see that too much, on the youth side.
Yeah.
And on the girls' side, they're kind of shy away from using it, and fans on both sides, parents, the coach, everyone was like, "Wow, what a great shot!" So look, the strikers. Yes, we have a lot of work to do. We want to try and win this thing one day, right? But again, they're putting in the work, Vincenzo. They're training, 2-3 times a week, and it's kind of showing now towards the end of the season. With one more game to go, I would love to end the season on winning the last 3 out of 4 games. All right. I mean, I would love nothing more than to wrap it up with a victory on Sunday, and then we're going to have our awards party right after the game on the field, which I think is the best place to do it. Really, right after the game, and you give out the awards right there. You take your photos, and you do what you got to do there. But I'm really proud of the girls. I don't know if they're watching now, if any of the parents are watching. I mean, really like the way what you see the steps that they're taking. You see the steps. I'll note one of the players. We got. I'll actually mention a couple of the players. Gabriella, Laura. I mean, keeper. I mean, your daughter just joined the team this year. So I mean, those are just a couple of the girls right off the top of my head that stand out. So we got Stephanie. There's a couple of them, right? But again, we just got to keep working, and we're going to get to where we want to get to, definitely. I guarantee that.
It definitely sounds like, from what I've tracked, not having my daughter on the team for
Yeah.
about a year and a half,
Right.
however long since you started up the team, it sounds like it definitely looks like the team's gotten better.
Yeah.
You know, the last couple of games, you know, unfortunately we had to make some games early on, but
Yeah.
you know, now it looks like you got them rolling.
Yeah, again, just plugging people in, players where you think they would do well in. For instance, I have to use and Laura from back in Richmond Town days. I mean, without her, I don't know where we would be. Really, the way she plays the game, she's, and she's the type of player that we spoke about her. She'll play anywhere. You could plug her in at any position, even keeper. We had that during the indoor season, right? She played. So there you go. That's a coach's dream. A
You
player
took the words right out of my mouth.
I mean, that's it. You got a player like that that'll do anything a coach wants. I mean, and she plays multiple sports too, different kind of sport. So you got that. You got Gabriella, the streaky goal scorer. I don't know if she's watching tonight. Again, with her and that number 9 on the strikers, you're either gonna get 3-4 games with goals, or you're gonna get a season with none. How do you manage that? How could you manage that? Like, right now she's on a roll. She's scoring goals. Right? This is the good streak. This is the good streak. So I'm worried now because we're at the end of the season here. Now next year you're gonna get nothing out of her. So
I shut up just in time, I think.
it's just. Yeah, actually, your first game that you came, that you did show up, we won that game, right?
Yeah.
So, anyhow, again, with the strikers, it's just continue to work, and I guarantee that we will win this thing before it's all done, said and done. All right, so Vincenzo, I put another guarantee out there, and we'll see what happens with that. So,
Johnny, practice.
How'd I know that
Makes
was coming?
that perfect.
yeah, Vincenzo, before you called, and we were talking with Frank. He's got 2 teams he's coaching, and I used your words. Did they learn anything?
Yeah.
Right. Did they learn anything out of either the win or the loss, whatever it is, and that's the most important.
I would say if you learn something, you are automatically a winner.
Yeah.
Because by learning something today, learning something tomorrow, after so many weeks, so many days, you learn a lot.
Yep. Yeah. So we have George on the Facebook page, and he says he's talking about team chemistry is important, and it's more important than individual play. I mean, and the environment, yes, the chemistry, and that's what I think was happening with the strikers right now. I think we're finally, and of course, as a team, you have to have each other's back. You got to trust each other, correct?
Yeah.
And that took so long. I'm just speaking for my team, and you're finally seeing it now, Vincenzo, because the last couple of weeks we've been winning a couple of games here, and even the games that we lost, Vincenzo, we lost a game 2 weeks ago. Last week, not this past weekend. The last second. Okay, so we were in that game, and I actually, we went for the win. We went to attack, and we left ourselves exposed in the back, and they scored on the breakaway. But again, we're losing games that were, tight, 1-goal games. You can always take some good out of that too.
The victory or the defeat, it's irrelevant. Learn and correct your mistakes.
Yeah.
Because next time, you know what took place. You said you left yourself uncomfortable. So next time you play something similar, you always make sure somebody watches your back.
Well, Vincenzo, so we had the season that we're having, right? We had the season, which is mostly, the beginning was mostly down, okay?
Yeah.
So now, like towards the middle of the season and the end, we turn it around a little bit. We're starting to win some games. So last weekend, we were in a situation where the game was tied 1-1. Actually, I'll start from the beginning. 2 minutes I'll take out of your time. So the game, we missing a lot of chances in the beginning, right? We're missing the chances, and we're not scoring goals, and then they score a goal, right? That always happens, right? So we come back, we tie the game. So now we're down to the last 2 minutes And I says, you know what, we got nothing to lose. Let's just go for it. You know, let's just try to win the game. I didn't want to tie the game. I wanted to win it. So it came back where, you know, it hurt us because I moved up a player, one of my players that play center back, to forward. So it kind of beat us, and then they scored a goal late on us. And that's how we lost that game. Otherwise, it should have been a tie game.
Well, again, you're learning yourself, the coach. You're learning something.
Right.
You know, maybe I should have put the fullback and covering the center half. And I mean, each situation is different. Next time, believe me, if things similar will come up again, you're not going to make a mistake, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, Vincenzo, if we were in a division, fighting for a division, and Frank, I think if we were, you know, I would not take that chance. You know, I would take the point if we had to, and then move on from that. I just kind of thought, you know what, I'm trying to get. Listen, if it's a job, okay, if it's a job, my job is to try and get these girls a victory. Try to put them in the best position, you know, to win a game. That's basically what I feel like I need to do, you know, week to week, and you know, I try to go for the win, and it kind of backfired. So that being said, the week before that, right? The week before that,
Yeah.
prior to that, Vincenzo, we won on a last-second goal. So we got the taste of winning last second, and we got the taste of losing last second. So.
And John, the next year, this season is going to be over when? At the end of June?
No, we got one more week. Next weekend, that's it, yeah.
And then, you know, during the summer, I know the girls are going on vacation with the parents or whatever. When they come back, try to get them together at least once a week.
Yes,
and then
definitely.
when the season starts, you're ready.
Right, yeah, of course, Vincenzo. Yeah, we're going to do something, yeah. Sunday is the final game. We'll have, you know, we'll give out some awards and stuff like that. And, you know, and I think I need a little break anyway, so.
Yeah.
Okay, Vincenzo, enough for this youth soccer. I think we covered whatever we can, whatever we know of, actually, whatever we know of. And again, if anyone out there is, you know, willing to share some info about their team, they can always call us or send us an email here. Vincenzo, obviously, to me, the main thing going on right now is the Women's World Cup. Okay, I know there's other tournaments going on right now, but I think the Women's World Cup, to me, again, is number one. So we'll discuss that. What did you see so far, Vincenzo?
Well, you know, I was watching today's game, China against Spain.
Yes.
I tell you, that Chinese goalkeeper has to be maybe one of the best in the tournament.
Yeah.
Scored 0-0, and she was making saves, John, better than you.
Yeah, you know, I did catch some of that game, Vincenzo, yeah, and you're right. But don't forget the keeper from Chile versus the United States yesterday. She was making a lot of great saves.
Well, Johnny, this, I tell you, in the beginning, when the tournament started, you were not familiar with the other teams. You knew about USA,
Right.
a powerhouse in women's soccer, but they really know about the other teams.
No.
Now, you know, you can see, like you said, Chile looks good. China and the Italian teams, most of all. I'm surprised with them.
Well, Vincenzo, if you want to roll back the videotape from last month, I said that the Italian women's national team would be a surprise, right?
Yeah.
And the reason, and listen, I'm not no rocket scientist. I'm not even, you know, I'm not a psychic or anything, right? But you know, a lot of these girls come from Juventus, Milan, Roma, right? Just to name a couple. And now that they're finally starting to put some, you know, spend some money on the women's side of things in Europe and Italy, right?
Yeah.
Then now you see the result. This is the result that you're seeing here the last few years on the women's side in Italy. And that's the only reason why. And besides that, Vincenzo, I believe, Frank, they're on a 9-game unbeaten streak, I think it's 9 games they haven't lost. 9 or 10 games that they haven't lost. That's the women on the Italian side. So they got a nice little streak going for them, but there's a lot of soccer left that they have to win if they want to dream about winning the World Cup, because it's still a dream for them.
Yeah, like I said, Johnny, I'm really into it in the women's World Cup games, and I'm trying to catch most of it. And I can see that big improvement from the
Thanks,
last
George.
World Cup and now.
Yeah, thank you, George. Vincenzo, you know what? It's easy. I mean, actually, on the women's side for the U.S., I mean, they're the best in the world. I mean, it's you know, you can't. I don't know if anyone's going to beat them. They.
The only thing, Johnny, like I mentioned before, you learn always something.
Yeah.
There should be a mercy rule. I remember you telling me once.
Here we go.
Your
Yep,
team
this is
lost
going to be
22-0.
Yeah, you know, Vincenzo, look, no mercy rule. I don't agree with that. We're playing, this is the professional level here. These players have waited their whole lives, okay, to get to this point, some of them, right? Now, you're going to ask them to score a certain amount of goals and stop for if there's a player on the field that worked, I don't know, X amount of years to play in that World Cup. The U.S. team has a couple players that are first-timers, okay? And you're going to ask them not to score a goal, hold back? I don't think you could do that at this level, at that level.
I mean, you put yourself as a coach of the other team.
Listen, okay, I could be on that other side. I'll beat Thailand. I'll be the coach of that team. I'll coach them anytime they want me to coach them. You're at that.
It's discouraging because you're already winning 7-0, 8-0, all right, 9-0. Why every time you score a goal, like you score the final goals of the final?
Vincenzo, the United States women's team has a target on their back. Everybody wants to beat them, number one. Number two, goals are a tiebreaker. Goals for are a tiebreaker. So they're trying to score as many goals as they can because you never know when you're going to need them. Okay, and again, Frank, you could chime in anytime you want.
When you have that tiebreaker, you know,
That's it. You can't tell them to stop scoring, Vincenzo. And I'm not arguing with you about this or anything, but it's hard to tell at that level. Okay, World Cup, the mercy rule. You can't do it. You can't. I don't
if
think
you didn't have the tiebreaker, maybe you could figure something out.
Maybe.
But if you're going to use it as a tiebreaker, you can't.
And listen, if you're feeling bad for Thailand, listen, then they shouldn't be there. How are they there then? Why are they there? You know, they qualify.
You also remember, you're going to have, like the men's World Cup, you're going to have a player who scores 2-1, the winning goals, and maybe 2 goals. Meanwhile, you got somebody who scores 8 goals, and you get the golden boot.
Well, we just got some info. Gianluca is saying Lippi to NYCFC confirmed. I don't know. That's what he's saying. But if that's true, that's a great move for New York City FC. Great coach. So anyway, Vincenzo, to me, again, you know, the only thing is because it's at the professional level, you really can't tell them not to score, you know. And I don't think the U.S. women's team was disrespecting them in any way. You know, after the game, Carly Lloyd, I believe, went over to the goalkeeper and, you know, gave her a hug, tapped her on the back and said, you know, keep your head up and keep working. You know, so it had nothing to do with that country. I think the U.S. just had to do what they had to do and score goals. You play the game to score. You're not playing the game to bang it around in the midfield and keep away. That's not why we play soccer. You play a soccer game, you want to score more goals than the other team, no matter what it is, at the professional level. Now,
Johnny, I mean, said what you said, but same token, it's like you playing against, let's say, 17 years old kid, you play against 14 years old kid.
Yeah. Okay, Vincenzo, listen, you know, I don't want to waste too much time. You know, it is what it is. But we knew from the beginning, the group stage, at least with the women's, was going to be, it is what it is. It's not competitive at all. The World Cup is going to start once we finish with the group stage, right? Now, the U.S. team, it's their World Cup to lose. They're the ones that have to have a bad game to lose it in the final.
Well, anyway, John, as long as next phase, you're going to start seeing
right, yeah.
really tough games.
Yes, of course you are. You're going to weed out all the bad teams are going to be gone. Okay, you're going to have the somewhat good teams, and then you're going to have the U.S., which is probably going to beat everybody anyway. So the only problem I have with the U.S. women's team is what, Frank? What's the problem? One problem I have with that women's team.
Oh,
all right? When we start the game and we sing the anthem there, you have to respect the anthem and your flag. You have to. If you don't, why are you on that team?
Oh.
Why are your teammates? You have 10 other players with their hand on their chest, and you're standing there with nothing. I mean, and I don't want to take too much time talking about this either because I just don't like the whole thing.
Especially for a
It's
national
horrible.
team.
You're playing. You put that jersey on for your country.
Wow.
You don't put it on for anybody else or anybody that's in office either, for that matter. Right? The flag and the anthem is not about D.C. It's not. So anyhow, Vincenzo, what do you feel about that? We'll give it another minute, then we'll move on.
Well, John, if you're representing your country and your country they're playing the national anthem, you have to be proud of belonging to that country.
You got to be proud, right, Vincenzo? And you got to be proud of hearing that anthem, and you put your hand where it belongs, and you go on, and you play the game, So it's just I think it's terrible. And I'm glad she didn't play yesterday. She shouldn't play the next game either.
Megan Ranapo.
Oh, yes. Well, we didn't want to mention that name. Our director just mentioned the player's name, which I was trying not to. Rampone, yes. But anyway, Vincenzo, it's just, that's the only...
And can you raise the voice over there?
That's the only negative on that, on the team. What's going on with that, and the attention. Listen, you want to do that stuff, go do it somewhere else. Don't use the soccer stage, for your political drama. I'll call it,
Well, especially like I said, you're playing for your country. You're not even playing like a club game,
Right.
This is, you got your country,
Yeah, she was the one that kneeled last year, and I guess they spoke to her about that.
Yeah.
And she's not doing that. Now she's just keeping her hand down, which is, again, it's just a distraction, I think. And let's just hope that things go well. And the U.S. should win this World Cup anyway. There's no doubt. I mean, really. They got the players on the bench could be a starter for any team in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So their bench players could just, probably beat the starters on that team, too, because Morgan was on the bench. She didn't even play yesterday. They kind of just put in their backups for yesterday, and the young kids, the rookies, the first timers. But anyway, Vincenzo, what else did you notice?
Johnny, like I said, the European countries, they're doing well. Germany, Spain, Italy, France.
Yeah.
I thought they're doing pretty good.
Yeah, we spoke. Those are the main countries, right? The France, Sweden. You got to watch out for Sweden also. All right, the United States plays them on Thursday.
Yes.
Thursday. Yeah, so that's a big game, and that game will determine who's going to win the group: Sweden, USA.
Yeah. And then also, well, I noticed you have a lot of goals being scored and ahead.
Yeah, a lot of header goals. I mean, yeah, and we had that, and I had that yesterday too. In New Jersey we had that. That was a beauty. Vincenzo, one of my players, with a beautiful header goal. I wish I had the video on that, but we'll get that for the next show. Yeah.
I mean, you try.
It's coming in a little choppy.
After 10, when they're going to high school, maybe. They have to start using their head, I know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, listen, Vincenzo, Gianluca has brought up another point on the Facebook. If that would happen in Italy, that say, I don't know, maybe she didn't, the Italian teams, they put their arms around each other, right, when they sing the anthem?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if a player didn't want to be involved in that, what would happen?
You don't pass the ball to her.
No, I don't think she'd be on the team. They would kick him out. She would be banned from playing. So yeah, you know, it's a tough thing, and I don't like it at all. I don't even, to be honest with you, I haven't really watched any of the U.S. games live. I watched the replay just to see what was going on and who scored the goals. Morgan's got 5 goals, Vincenzo. She only played 1 game.
Well, I told you, John, those 5 goals, and you put the 2 goals that Barbara from the Italian team scored,
Yes.
the winning goal, and 5 goals Alexia. It makes a difference, John, you know.
Yeah, no.
She scored 5 goals. Johnny, what's better? 5 goals and you win to 44-0, or 2-1 and you score the 2 winning goals. It's a big difference. Johnny.
Yeah, no, Vincenzo, absolutely. The Italian team, what they, the first 2 games.
John, can you put your volume high because I can hardly, barely hear you.
Well, there might be something wrong if you can't hear us, because I think it's as high as it's going to go. But Vincenzo, the Italian national team has definitely opened up some eyes now, and everyone's saying, the surprise. But to me, not a surprise, Vincenzo. Not a surprise at all.
Well, John, you said before the tournament started that the Italian team was, to be on the lookout.
Yeah, Vincenzo, when they play the game tomorrow, I think it's 3:00 Italy plays, and they're playing Brazil. So that's going to be another tough game, I think it's going to be a good matchup with Brazil.
See, Johnny, Italian, Brazil, 2-2, 2-1, 2-2,
Yeah.
3-3.
Right.
You see something.
Right.
When you score 44-0, you don't even want to watch the game.
Well, listen, to their credit, the United States only won 3-0 against Chile. So, it was only 3-0.
3-0 is good. It's still,
Yeah.
because 3-0, John, you know yourself. If you got 10 minutes left,
Yeah.
3-0, you could make a comeback.
And don't forget, they missed a penalty kick, too, the United States.
Yeah.
So yeah, they missed the penalty kick. Vincenzo, it is what it is. We're waiting to get out of the group stage here. Morgan, they didn't play her in the second game. It could have been more, She scores goals like crazy, that other one. She's a machine, So I think we're right on track. United States, maybe France in the next round. That's what they're projecting, United States, France. And listen, in a perfect world, Vincenzo, I would love to see the Italians and the Americans duke it out for payback.
Well, Johnny, because they're playing in France,
Yeah.
I don't know the setup of the grouping. Let's say if they reach the final, USA, France, you're gonna see like billions of people watching that game.
Yeah, well, France is
they got
close.
them in USA, it's nice, everything else, but you're gonna have a big crowd if the home team plays USA. That game, then they should be on pay-per-view.
Well, let's see. Hey, listen, they got a good thing going. Speaking about the Italian women's national team, and listen. For the men, too. On the men's side, they're looking bright, too. They're looking really bright. But for the women, listen, just keep it going. The goalkeeper's unbelievable, too. She makes great saves on the Italian team, all right? She, I think, saved the penalty kick, but then they scored on – did they score? Oh, no. Again, Vincenzo, from what I've seen with the Italian team, nothing but – good things coming, okay? Nothing but good
and
things.
I said tomorrow's game against Brazil will tell you even more about the Italian team.
Yeah, and
If they win convincingly, you're gonna then they're ready, almost ready for USA.
Brazil has a dangerous player. Forget about Marta. She's not the threat anymore for Brazil. They have Christine. She has 4 goals. All right, she scored 4 goals, and it might be the 2 games that she played. 4 goals, Vincenzo, okay? So that's the person that I'm sure they know that they got to keep an eye on. for tomorrow's game.
Yeah, I don't hear Vito. Is Vito in the studio?
No, Vito is missing in action tonight. So if anyone out there has seen Vito, please let us know where he is. And Vito,
Where'd you go? Amore the Bear.
you know what? I don't even think he does like the women's side. He's doing a Copa America. He's doing that tournament. He's doing a show for that one, I believe.
Oh,
Copa America, and the Gold Cup, maybe. That's what he's doing. So, all right, Vincenzo, I mean, we got about another 2-3 minutes to go. Anything else on the men's side? Have you seen?
you know, Mancini, he is selected for the older group. Couple of young kids that will play under 21.
Yes.
So which is good, you know. I mean, that tells you Italy future upcoming. They're gonna give our time to many countries.
Yeah, like we said, they're looking good for the future, and this is all the work leading up to the next World Cup, right?
Yeah, I think they're getting ready.
Yeah.
You know, see how they're gonna do it in the European Cup, and after that, Johnny, they got my supporting.
Well, yeah, of course, Vincenzo. I mean, look, we knew when the U.S. and Italy, right, they didn't qualify. We said that the Italians were going to get this done quicker, right, than the Americans. And I think the U.S. men's team, and I'm not following them, but I believe, Frank, that they lost to Jamaica.
Yes.
2 or 3-0, Vincenzo. And look, no disrespect to Jamaica, right? But the United States, if you're looking to rebuild and you want to get back to the World Cup stuff and all that stuff, you can't lose these games like that. You really can't. You know, no disrespect to anybody, and I know a lot of Jamaicans, but you got to win, even if it's a friendly. You got to win. Because the losses like this, they just, then you go back to the same old team. That's what comes back to your mind right away.
Yeah.
Back to the same old team. So, but we knew that the Italian team was going to get this done quickly and a lot faster than the United States. So we knew that was going to happen. And they're on track, Vincenzo. All right. Is he still there? Maybe.
Okay, Johnny.
Okay.
Thank you for the great show again.
All right, Vincenzo.
And let me know for the upcoming events. And
yes, we'll keep in touch.
USA.
Thank you for calling, as always, Vincenzo. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good luck to you.
Okay, have a great night. Good talking to you, Vincenzo.
Again, like I always like. St. Francis Hall of Famer. All right, Frank, again, we spoke before the show. The hour's going to go like that, and it did. We got about 2 minutes to go, and it really felt like you never left. It felt like you've been here this whole time, the 112 shows, So, all right, Frank.
My only regret is I didn't make the 111 show.
All right,
and you know why.
So, thank you for coming on, Frankie. Well, hopefully you'll be back for good this time, and we'll see you guys on the next show.
Always a pleasure.
Facci gridare ancora, facci gridare ancora. Bari nel nostro cuore, non ti lasceremo da sola mai. Quanti viaggi con gli amici, tanti posti sconosciuti, tutti uniti innamorati di un sogno. Canto sempre con orgoglio, anche quando sono stanco, mai nessuno può distruggere il mio sogno. Bari, grande amore, Bari unica e sola, Bari nel nostro cuore, non ti lasceremo da sola mai. Bari nel nostro cuore, non ti lasceremo da sola mai. pari nel nostro cuore. Non ti lasceremo da solo.